It's very daunting to think about, okay, I'm not in the picture anymore. Who's going to take care of my child?
If I die and Emma has to deal with losing me and also moving into a new situation, that's just not fair to her.
It goes back to me trying to remove myself from her life, not because I don't want to be in it, but because I want it to be able to run without me when something happens to me. Not if, when. Something will happen to me. And even, not only can I not get new things started, but even the things I thought I had set up are crumbling. And so it's daunting.
Sort of wears you down, actually. Because what you want to do is get this place and have them be there so that it's not, my kid lives with me, I die, suddenly they're in a nightmare. You don't want them to be in a nightmare.
If something happens to me tomorrow, my fear is that Valerie will be put into a facility where she's mostly with other people with high medical needs, with low stimulation, low integration into the community, people who don't really know her, people who can't take the incredible amount of time it takes to allow her to use her communication device and say what she needs, and she won't be able to make her needs known, and she'll just be at the mercy of what's given to her and not really know what's going on, and terrified. And I can't think of anything worse.
If I had money to hire someone to just come and take my place and live here with her, that would not be a situation. I think living with me is not an ideal situation for her because she needs to be where there are other people, not just me.
He likes people. Mom and Dad are okay in a pinch, but, he really wants to have friends. He has some friends at Special Olympics. They really take care of him. They really, he's low functioning compared to them, but, they'll always make room for him. Come on, Simon. When you have that, it's really precious. It's really precious when you have a community. It just is.
When I started talking to her about moving somewhere else, I didn't know if she understood me. And I was trying to put it in words in a way that she could understand. I said, well, you know what? Your sister moved away and went to college. Your brother moved away and went to college. Everybody moves away. And, sooner or later, you're going to move away too, because everybody moves away. That's what parents want for their kids, is for their kids to grow up and move away. I didn't know if she got it or not. And then a couple of days later, I heard her in the living room. And she called out, I don't want to go to college.
So if you have a group place or an assisted living center, you have a lot of eyes on the people, and you have a lot of people who know the residents. This is a situation not like a giant developmental center, but all the caregivers know all of the residents, and all the residents know all of the caregivers.
Emma needs to be somewhere where they will cook dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for her. It'd be nice if they had some kind of facility where she could learn how to do her own laundry.
She would like it to be in a place where she has some friends as well. It would be ideal if there was some small community of people with disabilities as well, but not the isolated kind that's kind of like a hospital, the intermediate care facility with everybody in a hospital bed in a wheelchair. She likes to be with mixed abilities, with people with Down syndrome, with people with autism, with people who walk and talk. What would be great would be a really mixed kind of community.
I mean, parents are creating things, which is what we want to do. It's very hard to do in San Francisco because the price of real estate here is crazy. Rents are crazy. Affordable housing. So San Francisco is very, very hard. So we are asking the mayor to help us.
I would really like Emma to stay in San Francisco. She goes to the Arc at 11th and Howard every day. Her doctor is at UC San Francisco. If she moves to a residence place in Marin County, we're not only going to be moving her as far as her residence, but she's going to be moving to a new day program. The new people at where she moves to are going to be moving her probably to a new doctor, a whole new medical support system. So that's going to be a really huge radical change for her.
She's been in San Francisco for most of her life, for 25 years, and this is her city and this is her home.
You need good supervision. You need good places. You need people to look. You need eyes. You need people who care. You need all those things. And you need programming. You need things to do. You need a meaningful life, and just safety and a roof over your head. You need community. You need to build community. And building community is really hard, especially with parents of special needs, because they're exhausted and they're tired and they're busy going to IEPs and doctor's visits and all these things that we have to do extra, right? And then, it comes a point where you're like a warrior all these years, and then you just start to get really tired.
I'm pretty worn out. As the weeks go on, I'm just feeling more and more worn.
The burden of figuring out what's going to happen to him is, it's really big. It's really big.
So I need to find a place for her. Her mom's illness was 6 months from diagnosis to passing. And it just struck me as that life is just so fragile and so temporary. You just don't know what's going to happen. I need to get this established. I need to find a place for her. Not because I want to get rid of her, but because I just want to make sure that she is in a place that's safe and it's good for her.
So it really all comes down to funding, and it's always about money. So the state has been cutting, and they haven't given it back. And even though the budget has gotten back into a pretty good state at this point, the governor has not put money back into this budget for these services. And that's the thing that I've been writing to him about all this time, and it's something they're still talking about.
To, carry this vision to fruition, that we can create something, a meaningful life for our kid and a roof over his head and a community around him that will sustain him after we're gone. We'd like to shepherd him through that process. And then when it comes time for us to not be able to do it anymore, we can step back and it'll work on its own. That's the only way that you can die peacefully or earn the right to die, right?